The soldier arrived at sunset. "The emperor has ordered your death. You have until morning." Seneca had spent his entire life teaching others how to face death with courage. Now he had a few hours to prove he meant it. What he did next became the most famous death in the history of philosophy. And his final lesson? It wasn't in his words. It was in how he died. Seneca was a walking contradiction. He wrote about living simply, while owning 500 identical tables made of exotic wood. He wrote about being content with poverty, while being one of the richest men in Rome. He wrote about virtue, while serving Nero, one of history's monsters. His enemies called him a fraud. Even his friends wondered how he reconciled his teachings with his life. But here's what matters. Seneca never claimed to be wise. He claimed to be pursuing wisdom. "I am not a wise man," he wrote, "nor shall I ever be. Do not expect me to be equal to the best, but merely better than the worst." He knew the gap between what he taught and what he lived. He struggled with it every day. And when death came, that struggle was finally over. He had one chance left to close the gap. The accusation was conspiracy against Nero. Whether Seneca was actually involved, we'll never know. It didn't matter. Nero wanted him dead. When the centurion delivered the sentence, Seneca's wife, Paulina, announced she would die with him. She couldn't bear to live without him. Seneca tried to talk her out of it. He wanted her to survive, to find happiness. She refused. So they sat down together, and Seneca opened the veins in his arms. But death didn't come easy. He was 69 years old, frail from years of strict diet. His blood flowed slowly. He cut the veins in his legs. Still not enough. He asked for hemlock, the poison that killed Socrates. Drank it. His circulation was so weak it barely worked. Finally, he asked to be carried to a hot bath. The heat would speed the bleeding. As he entered the water, he sprinkled some on his servants. "A libation to Jupiter the Liberator," he said. Throughout all of this, hours of slow dying, Seneca kept talking, kept dictating thoughts to his secretaries, kept comforting his friends. He was giving his final lecture, and the subject was himself. Kept dictating thoughts to his secretaries, kept comforting his friends. He was giving his final lecture, and the subject was himself. What can Seneca's death teach us? First, death is not a test of a perfect life. It's a test of how you face imperfection. Seneca had contradictions. He knew it. But when the final moment came, he didn't let that paralyze him. He could have said, "I'm not worthy to die like a philosopher. I was a hypocrite." Instead, he showed that every moment is a new chance to act with virtue. Even a flawed life can end with integrity. Second, how you die is your final message. Seneca understood his death would be remembered, studied, discussed. He treated it as his last piece of writing. You may not face a dramatic death, but your final years, months, days. They will communicate something to everyone who survives you. Will it be fear and grasping, or acceptance and wisdom? Third, wisdom is not the absence of struggle. It's the presence of courage. Seneca's death was messy, painful. Nothing went according to plan. But he kept trying, kept reaching for dignity, kept teaching by example. That's what real wisdom looks like. Not floating above difficulty, but showing up when everything goes wrong. I'm not ready to die. I hope you're not either. But when the centurion comes, in whatever form he takes, I hope we remember Seneca, not the hypocrite, the man who in the end became what he always wanted to be. Next, the emperor who never wanted the job, and what he learned about duty. My own story. Click here.